Have I got a present for you? Let's see what we got in here. You know that Ferrari that you were looking for? A real Ferrari! Yeah? Well, what if I told you...
Surprise, motherfucker!
...that we weren't gonna give you a Ferrari?
You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch.
Because I can't make the rent, let alone a Ferrari.
Oh, boo-hoo. Now I feel really bad.
If you've danced ballroom for any number of time, you'll have come across a whisk. Well, maybe not this whisk, but you'll have come across a whisk. But here's one thing that dancers don't usually understand. There's not just one kind of whisk. Today I'm going to walk you through the 4 most popular ballroom whisks, how they differ, what makes each one unique, and how to make yours look refined and effortless. Let's go.
Ho, 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 ho.
Hello and welcome to the Dancer's Hideout, the place where you'll find all the tips and tricks to help you and your dance. My name's Ian, I'm a professional teacher and former competitor with over 30 years of dance experience. Whisks in ballroom dancing seem to appear in almost every form of choreography. Quick step and Viennese waltz being some of the exceptions where you don't tend to normally see these types of figures. But if we were to look at a generalised definition of what a whisk movement actually is, you'll find that the generalised form of a whisk is where you just cross one foot behind the other.
That's it? That's the best you got?
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks.
Whilst maintaining the body's flight or rotation. Like I said, today we're going to be looking at the 4 most popular forms of whisk movements that we find in the ballroom dancing, and these whisk movements are the basic whisk, the back whisk, the left whisk, and the fall away whisk. Not only by the end of this video will you be able to recognise them, you'll also be able to understand a little bit more about when and why we use them. To help make things easier, I will dance all of these movements as a leader and as a lady. So that you get a clear idea about the step patterns so that you can practice them yourselves, and then we can also get an understanding about how they're supposed to move a little bit as well. So let's not mess around. Let's go through the first one, the basic. To help keep things clear, I'm going to go through these movements using the waltz timing because you commonly find that all of these figures can be danced in the waltz anyway. You can use them obviously like I mentioned before in various other dances, but waltz tends to use all of these types of whisk movements very, very clearly and actually quite often as well. So I'm going to keep dancing them in a waltz using waltz timing, but obviously there's a little awareness there that you can adapt the timing and use these in different dances. Dancing as a leader, I'm going to be facing the wall, as you see me do here. I'm going to step forward with my left foot. I'm then going to place my right foot to the side, and then I'm going to cross my left foot behind my right foot to then create the lowering action of the heel. Dancing this as a lady, you'll see me with my back towards the wall now. I'm going to dance backwards on my right foot, sideways with my left foot, and I'm going to cross behind using my right foot. The purpose of this type of whisking movement is a very common one used in all of the basic forms of choreography because it creates a very distinct position where we poise ourselves to collect the body weight before then lowering onto the heel and then moving out in the promenade position that this figure creates. This whisking movement is static, it's danced in place, and that's why it commences with the leader facing towards the wall.
No way. No way.
Because if the leader was to dance this on any other version of alignment, the indication would be that it's trying to progress. The only time where that detail slightly alters is when it's been danced in a corner, but that's a special situation for another time.
Are you serious?
So, some common pitfalls with this step. Whenever the dancers are trying to dance this basic form of whisking movement, sometimes they're turning too much and sometimes they're trying to do too much, but in reality they just need to be changing their body weight and allowing that to settle onto the step. If I dance this facing towards you here, you'll be able to see what I mean. When I'm dancing the whisking movement, some people will tend to try and turn the whisk, and you can see I'm moving my position, bearing in mind that my partner's in this over here somewhere. So if I'm dancing and she's over here and I'm turning too much, can you see? I'm pulling her right off her foot.
You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch.
And if I'm intending to go that direction, I'm technically blocking her right now.
Obviously.
So we don't want to do this. Don't want to turn too much. The other detail, like I said, is that they try and do too much. So they go like really like big step here, like trying to power this direction. But like I said, they're stepping towards the wall.
God! I'm surrounded by idiots! Idiots!
So, you know, don't do that. Because there's nowhere to go. And then from here, then it's like, ugh, and they throw the body weight over to the next step, and then they fall on the end of the movement.
Julian!
The whisking action needs to feel very like controlled. We need to be using the legs and the feet to help push and change the body weight across from foot to foot. We covered in one of our earlier Bite Size Sunday episodes, I think from last month. When we're dancing the whisking movement, it follows the exact same process, no matter what whisking movement, to be honest. Because when we're dancing the steps, they're always going to be danced to the count 1, 2, 3.
Liar!
There's only one exception to that, and we'll cover that shortly.
Hold on to your butt.
So when we're dancing this basic waltz timing, we move on step 1. Step 2 is the rising beat. So we got to use the energy and the compression in the leg to push and create the rising movement to the side. And then step 3 is the placing of the foot in the whisking position where it crosses behind, and we lower through the foot. The second whisking movement that we can dance is the whisk movement. As it implies, this is going to move backwards.
No way.
It follows a very similar kind of concept as the basic whisk, but because this figure is moving backwards, there's a little bit more of a progressive feel about it. And I'll identify the difference between how we know when we're dancing a basic whisk versus a back whisk, aside from the alignments that we're using, okay?
Okay.
So, let's go through the steps first. I'll dance this as a leader first and then as a lady. Standing in this position, like I said, a back whisk starts with us moving backwards. So because of this, we need to make sure that we're going to progress backwards. I'm going to use my left foot here to start to move and move myself backwards. And then what's going to happen is we're then going to move backwards again, but we're going to do a slight side step. And then we're going to cross behind with the left foot, continuing to move backwards. Now I went slightly out of the shot there, so I'm going to do it like a little bit smaller with those first 2 steps, but do know that you do progress with these, okay? I'm just a little bit limited with the space, okay? So, you're going to go backwards with the left foot, backwards and slightly sideways with the right foot, and then compared to the basic whisk that we just danced a moment ago, in the basic whisk, I just crossed the feet. Yeah? So I just did the crossing action with the feet. In the back whisk, I'm moving the back foot away. Basic whisk, back whisk. Then what I do is I lower through the leg, push the next step forward, and roll through. Dancing this as a lady dancer, I'm going to go forward now. I'm going to take my right foot forward, left foot forward and turn to the side so I feel a little bit more diagonal, and then I'm going to cross my right foot behind my left foot here to drop the heel, lower, walk. So I'll do this again. You're going to go forward, side and start to turn, move the next step and walk through. So you can see with the back whisk here, there's a little bit more turn involved with the movement. And this is what allows us to take that slightly bigger step going backwards. If I was trying to do the same technique, but put that into the basic whisk, which is what some people try to do sometimes, I'm going to come off balance, I'm going to have those problems that I mentioned before. Whereas in the back whisk, I need to move and turn. So I can do those things because the figure itself need to do it.
Nice.
This is how we can identify the difference between the two. Back whisk allows us to progress and to take that last step a little bit further away from ourselves so that we can lower and go through. And then the basic whisk, like I said, is a little bit more static, so I'm moving into sideways position to cross the feet behind. If I'm thinking of an intention, then the basic whisk is to help us change into promenade position. Its intention is to change couple position. If it's the back whisk, it's to create power to move into something very, very progressive down the floor. The third whisking movement is the left whisk movement. This one is a little bit more detailed, and as it implies, it is a type of whisk movement that turns to the left.
Obviously.
Dancing the left whisk movement. So I'm going to go dance this as a leader. I'm going to go backwards with my right foot first. I'm going to go back to the side, and then I'm going to cross behind and turn the body. So there's like a little bit of a twist feeling, because from there the partner can then help unturn my feet and I can continue to turn the body for whatever I'm about to dance next. So I'm creating like a wind-up position to release, but it's not harsh. It's very like 1, 2, 3, and then release. I'll dance that again as the leader. So we're here. So we're going to go back with the right foot, back 1, side 2, 3. And then from there we unturn the feet. For the lady step, you're going to go forward here now, ladies. So you're going to put power in to go forward, and then you're going to go forward again to do the change into the whisking movement. So as the lady step, she's going to go forward with the left foot, forward and then turn with the right foot, like this, and then the left foot is going to drop backwards like this into the whisk position. The body's going to be turned towards the partner here, but there's a twist feeling in the legs to create the whisk movement. From there, the lady can then just run around the partner to help unturn the leader. A little bit of the detail that goes with the left whisk, like I said, there's a lot of stuff there. When you're dancing the left whisk, from the leader's perspective, the intention is to create a twisted feeling, because you're going to unturn that position, use the momentum of that unturning movement.
Julian!
To dance into the next action that you're about to do. For the ladies, just so that I can show the difference, ladies, they're going to go left whisk movement here with the rotation. They're going to run around the leader, and the timing there is 1 and 2, 3, because it's a run movement.
Are you serious?
But the whisk itself is just 1, 2, 3. And then from there, the ladies can then continue to use the momentum that we danced before. The final whisking movement is more of an advanced movement, because it utilizes a few other details, but to try and keep this simple, it uses the idea of collecting the weight that the basic whisk uses. It uses the idea of creating movement like the back whisk, only in a slightly different way, and then it uses the idea of using the rotation that we get from the left whisk to create, like I said, that rotation, that torsion that can then be released into something. So I'll dance through the leader steps first with this movement, and then the lady steps with a few details as well. For the leaders, you're going to come from promenade position here. So you've stepped like that's your promenade step with your left foot. You're going to step through and turn to the right, passing in front of the lady. If the lady's here, you're going to go 1 and 2, then do your whisking movement 3, creating the rotation, and then from there you can then continue, typically with another rotational figure. Okay, I'll dance that again. So there's the landing step from promenade position. You step through with the right foot and ready to pass in front of the lady. So you go 1 and change, 2, cross behind, 3. And then from there you can continue with the rotation. For the lady steps. For the lady step, she's in this position here, landing on the right foot. You're going to step through with the left foot, 1. The next step goes between the leader's feet and with ball of foot, 2 to the side, 2, and you can see the head change as well into the whisk position, and then 3 with the crossing behind movement. So I'll dance that again as the lady. So from here, lady steps out in the right foot, walking through 1 and 2, 3, to then continue. The whisk movement as an idea though is a very nice type of figure to include into your ballroom dance, and particularly for waltz. It's a very classic figure as well. Danced correctly, this is actually a very effective form of movement.
Nice.
Thanks for watching today's episode. If you've enjoyed what you've seen here today, be sure to give us a like. We'll really appreciate it, of course. If you haven't already, do make sure that you subscribe and make sure you hit that bell icon so that you can stay notified for whenever we're putting out new videos or content. By all means, drop down in the comment section any of the whisk movements that you find that you're using in your choreography at the minute, or maybe there's something that you want to see in one of our future videos.
Wrong.
Let me know. I'll be making sure that I read through them over this Christmas period.
Liar!
In the meantime, have a very Merry Christmas. My name's Ian. This here is The Dancers Hideout. And it's been a pleasure.
Ho, 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 ho. Merry Christmas! Ho, 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 ho.